Yeah, so welcome to another Cardano update. Like always, make sure to check out our YouTube memberships and our Patreon if you want access to all of our charts and if you want access to our Discord server where we post daily updates multiple times a day. So if you want access to these things, make sure to check out the memberships. And also we have a Q&A server, so if you want to ask us anything, you can do that. And yeah, we also have a general server where people can talk about what's happening in the market. So if I'm not online, you can talk to the other members. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed this Cardano video. So Cardano is still going up right now, I guess. But I mean, of course, it went up a bit here, but it's actually going down. So this to me looks like an ABC structure, but we'll see if it plays out. I mean, if we go on the 1 hour chart, it does not look like an ABC structure. This does not look like an ABC. So I think it's likely we get another low in the second wave move down before we continue. But if we don't, to be able to confirm that we are actually going up, we will need some kind of 5-wave move to the upside. Right now, we have a 1-2 setup, but this is only on the 1 hour chart, so I'm not gonna put a support zone for it or anything. All you need to know is that we need to get above the first wave high if we want to be able to confirm that the second wave right here is actually in, and that we're heading in a third wave move to the upside. Cardano is still in a downtrend right now, but that's to be expected because at the end of the day, Bitcoin dominance is near cycle highs, and you know, Cardano needed a second wave move down, so this was expected, and we'll see if we actually manage to form 5 waves up. Like I said, we have a 1-2 setup on the chart. The chart reacted to the trend line right here, and we'll see if we manage to get above it, and if we do, the first target would be $1.30, which is the 200% extension of this 1-2 setup right here, and that's the target for the third wave. Then we will need a fourth wave move down and a fifth wave move up, and once we get these 5 waves, I will be able to confirm that the second wave right here is actually in. It could be in because, like I said, this is an ABC structure and it looks complete, but then again, we could get to the 0.382 extension first just to test it before continuing to the upside. And yeah, I mean, this chart is still looking bullish, even though we went down like 40 cents or so, maybe even more, 50 cents actually. That's not actually a lot when you consider the fact that we went up from 30 cents to like $1.30 in a matter of a few weeks. So we obviously needed to cool off, and if you look at the daily chart, we are no longer overbought, which is very good. We are almost oversold actually. I don't know if we will get to the oversold territory. There is a chance that we do if we get to the 0.382 extension. But if we don't get to that level, then yeah, we will most likely not get to the oversold territory. As you can see, we did not get to the oversold here or here or here, so we don't really have to go oversold. We could start reversing now, and we need 5 waves up to be able to confirm that the second wave move down right here is in. As you can see, we stayed above the bull market support band, which is very good. We also respected the support zone that I gave you. So yeah, I'm expecting a reversal very soon, but if it does not happen by the end of the year, then do not be surprised, because there is a chance that Bitcoin dominance continues to go up until January, and then it starts dropping in January. I'm going to talk about that more soon. First, I want to look at the RSI because it's important. I also want to look at the weekly RSI. As you can see here, we are no longer overbought. The weekly RSI is at like 63 right now, which is good. And if you look at what happened in the previous cycle, after we had a similar looking first wave move to the upside, Cardano had a 40% drop, 42% actually, and that took the entire month of December. Now, of course, this drop, the 42% drop, only took like 2 days, and that was the low. Then for the entire month of December, Cardano went sideways. And then when January started, that's when Cardano started going crazy. And I mean, we went from about 14 cents to like $1.40 by the end of February. And that's a 10x. And I mean, that's actually insane. So we could do the exact same thing again, but keep in mind, in the previous cycle we did nothing in December, so if we do nothing by the end of the year, then don't be surprised. However, I'm still expecting Cardano to go up in January, so it does not really matter what happens right now, to be honest with you. All that matters is that you are patient, because if you are not patient, then, you know, you might end up selling your coins, and then after you sell them, Cardano just does something like this, and yeah, you start crying. Also, I wanted to look at the RSI. As you can see here, when we got the first wave move to the upside in the previous cycle, which is the first wave of the third wave, the RSI did not go to the overbought territory like it did right now. However, it still cooled off right here. As you can see, we went from an RSI of about 71 to an RSI of like 63, which is good. And look at what happened after that. we went up again, and this was the best time of the market, to be honest. I mean, judging this only by the RSI. Now, of course, the top was right here, but this RSI right here does not look like a top. And that's why I think many people believe that this is actually an A, B, C structure, and this is an overshooting B wave, because the RSI right here, like I said, does not really look like a top. I don't know why I'm talking about that. It does not really matter right now. All that matters is that, well, Bitcoin dominance will most likely continue to go up by the end of the year. And I know I mentioned Bitcoin dominance a bit too much in my videos, but it's important to know what's happening here. As you can see, it's struggling to stay above the bull market support band. And this cycle is actually pretty different, because in the previous two cycles, whenever we got above the bull market support band, we never really stayed above it after we had a cross on it. So this is definitely interesting. It's going to be very interesting to see what happens here, because we are above it, so there is a chance that we get to like 62% dominance by the end of the year, and then we start dropping in January, like I believe we will. But if we don't, and if we start dropping now, it's not really going to matter. So, I mean, I've told you many times already, whatever happens now, it's not really important in the long term, and by the long term, I mean the next couple of months. So it doesn't matter if Bitcoin dominance hits a new cycle high by December and then it starts dropping in January like it did over here, or if Bitcoin dominance gets rejected by the bull market support band and it starts going down like it did over here. So, it's the exact same thing. No matter what happens, it's the exact same end result. So there's no reason to talk about this right now, but you have to look at Bitcoin dominance, because Bitcoin dominance is very important. And as you know, when Bitcoin dominance was doing this right here, Cardano was going up like 400%, well actually 300%. So imagine what happens when Bitcoin dominance does something like this and goes to like 40% dominance. Cardano and the other altcoins will just go crazy. Now, I also want to talk about Bitcoin, because Bitcoin is currently going down. This could have been a fourth wave move down, I'm not sure. We'll have to wait and see what happens next in the next couple of days. And keep in mind, I still believe Bitcoin will get to like 120k by the end of the year. I know that sounds insane, there are like 9 days left of the year, but if you look at the Bitcoin monthly returns chart, I mean, in the 2020 year, which was a halving year, Bitcoin went up like 47% in December, and in 2016, which was also a halving year, Bitcoin went up like 30%. Right now, in 2024, which is a halving year, Bitcoin is up 0.5%. So, yeah, this is not really a lot when you compare it to what happened in the previous cycles. I mean, not even the previous cycles. If you compare this year to the previous year, which is 2023, I mean, in 2023, we still went up like 12%. So, I don't really see the halving year underperforming against 2023, but we have to wait and see what happens with this. If we somehow close a red wick in December, it's gonna be interesting, because we never did that in a halving year, so maybe things will be different this year. But even so, I mean, I still think Bitcoin will be at all-time highs again very, very soon, so it doesn't really matter, and I'm still looking forward to seeing Bitcoin above 200k by the end of the cycle. My target for this cycle is still 255k, and I know that sounds insane, but I'm the same person who predicted that Bitcoin will get to 100k very soon when we were down here, and people called me crazy, and well, it turns out I am crazy, but I am right. So, this does not mean that whatever I say here is always right, because at some point I will be wrong, and maybe it's now. Maybe Bitcoin will not get to 120k, maybe something else is playing out. We'll have to wait and see. Don't just take my word for it, do your own research, because I cannot always be right, I mean, I am right most of the times, but sometimes I'm not, and that's okay, Now, going back to the Cardano chart, let me explain what we're doing again, in case you don't know what I'm talking about here. So, we have a 1-2 setup on the chart, and we are now going in a third wave move. The minimum target for the third wave is $2.98, and it could easily overextend to the 2.272 extension, maybe the 2618. I don't have that on the chart, I think that's a bit unrealistic, but we'll have to see. And yeah, I mean, I've been predicting this third wave move for the past 6 months now. We were down here, everybody was FUDing ADA, and I still believed that we will get a third wave move just because this was a 1-2 setup, and what do you know, we have started the third wave move, and I believe it will continue. We only have a 1-2 setup of the third wave, which means that what's next is going to be the most bullish time of the cycle because it's a third wave of a third wave. So this could be very, very bullish, and I'm still expecting Cardano to top somewhere between $5 to $8. It held support levels, it's above the bull market support band, and things are looking very good. So yeah, if you bought down here, then congratulations. However, if you bought up here and you sold in the support zone, then I'm sorry. And yeah, that's all I have for you. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, make sure to check out our YouTube memberships and our Patreon if you want access to all of our charts and if you want access to our Discord server. Like, subscribe, and I will see you in the next video.